David Tepper, Howard Marks, Mike Novogratz, Gary Cohn, even Jamie Dimon told me his #1 pick, Duke. I'm not sure he was doing the math of bracketology. 2 of his 3 kids went to Duke, so that's why he loves them. But let's go through David Tepper first. He picked Florida, Arizona, Louisville, Virginia. I'm going to say kind of obvious picks, but tell me.
You picked all the favorites, right?
Don't call it obvious, call it the most straightforward, the most conservative. If you think about investments as how volatile do you want to be, he went with the least volatile strategy. That's the highest expected return.
So from the perspective of a sports fan, no, all due respect to David Tepper, no offense intended, that's kind of lame.
It was the highest probability picks for those 4 teams, but it made
you got to have some heart. You got to have some heart involved.
He doesn't have enough risk, maybe, as some of the other guys do.
All right, who's got some risk? Because I'm looking at Howard Marks, Florida, Wisconsin, Michigan. I mean, everybody.
He has less risk, although he has Wichita State.
Everyone on our list has Florida. We're not seeing too many people with Wisconsin. What do you think about his pick?
Well, it's interesting. So look at, he's got a 1, a 1, a 2, and a 4. And if you look historically, that is the lineup that's most likely represented in the Final Four. So he has the right balance between conservative with the 1s and then a little bit of risk with the 2s and the 4s.
We had a great story on Wichita State and how difficult their road to the Final Four is going to be. I think even Charles Barkley is quoted in the story saying, you know, what the NCAA has done is they've made it really difficult for Wichita State to get there because they have 3 out of the top 4, 3 out of last year's Final Four teams are playing against them.
Right, based on the math, they have a lower chance of winning their region than Louisville does, and Louisville's seeded 4th.
There you go, David
Einhorn also
he's got
it.
Wichita State in there. Do you have them in yours?
I don't have them in mine. I think Louisville's got a better chance than Wichita State does for my own
Even though Louisville, some people are saying they got a poor seed, they shouldn't have been seeded #4. Howard Marks has them in there. Do you think they could get knocked out because they're going to obviously have to play tougher games?
The lower seed doesn't make it that much harder because the teams that they're playing are still going to be pretty weak. And in fact, it makes them an undervalued pick. If we look at all these guys, only 2 of them have Louisville, but they all have Florida. And that's what you always see. The favorite team gets overpicked. They have picked 100%. Everyone's picked them in their brackets. So they're all either going to get it right or all get it wrong. So there's no variance among these guys. No one's going to win because of Florida. But you have an advantage on Louisville if you get them.
Mark LASRY'S got Duke. As I said, Jamie Dimon didn't do all 4, but he picked Duke. Is that an emotional pick because so many people love the school? I mean, just yesterday, they got shellacked by UVA.
Well, he's got Duke, and that's not bad. It's the North Carolina pick. That's where he's taking a lot of risk because that's a 6 seed. He's the only guy in this whole group that took anyone outside the top 4. And you can see these are portfolio managers, right? They are picking strong portfolios, and there's only one guy who's taking one team out of the top 4.
All right, so hold on. We've got to check in with Eric in 2 weeks then. You have looked across the board at these guys' picks. Who do you think is going to win it out of all of them?
I think it'll be Marks, Cohn, or Einhorn. They have the right portfolios.
All right, Gary Cohn, Howard Marks, David Einhorn, our own in-house expert, Eric Chemi, thinks you're going to win these brackets. What do you think?
I will check in with Eric every day.
Every day.
Actually, throughout the tournament. So I'm going to hang out with him by the water cooler and see what's going on. I wonder about the probability of if you pick all #1s.
That's not going to work. That's too
never happened.
Conservative. It happened once, but it's way too conservative.
So it has happened. That's what I was wondering.